just yo-yoing on him like this. And finally we came to a little, I'll call it an arroyo. It was a small canyon that wasn't very deep, more like a big ravine that and had been washed out by heavy rains or something. And he came to that and he ducked down inside there, and I was out here on this side of it, and I came around and he bent around and he went over and he was trying to get out of this arroyo, and he pulled up and was almost to the top when I came back on him, and I gave him a big burst, and he just planted right into the side of this canyon. And it looked like the way my bullets hit his airplane from an angle of about like this. Looked like I'd nailed him right there to the side of the canyon, and that was the end of him. I found out later from a friend of mine, a historian, who had contact with Japanese historians, that said they think that airplane was one that one of their best fighter pilots was out flying that day, and he was found dead in the airplane in the area there where I had described shooting him down. Well, anyway, he's down, and I peeled off and headed home. I had no idea where the rest of my troops were, so I headed south out of there and to the Tokyo Bay, and finally found my plane and landed. But it was an interesting day anyway. And those were a couple of the airplanes that I shot down.
Well, that was excellent, Diz. I think you did a great job using those tools, those toys, I guess, to describe what happened out there that day. Wow, incredible history. We probably need to stretch out the stories more, but instead of that, let's skip ahead to 1947, at least for the purposes of today's interview. And again, thank you, Diz. That was great. So we'll put these in your collection here.
Lock them in the hanger.
Okay, pretty awesome. So,
Well, you know, the day before
yes.
this happened, I was on a fighter sweep at Hamamatsu, to about 100 miles west of Tokyo, and I spotted two bombers taking off.
Okay, tell us this story, and keep going with this stuff.
Okay.
And you could just use that Artoni for in place of a bomber, so we don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we came up on Hamamatsu airfield, and I don't know what happened to my flight. I had 20 airplanes when we left the ship. We were flying with another air group, and I joined up with them. And I was right behind the last airplane with my whole group, and we had to go through an overcast to get up. So I got up there where I'm just right under the last guy, and I'm flying on him like this. We finally get on top of the overcast, and I look around, and all I've got is 4 airplanes, the 4 that I had to begin with. The other 16 disappeared. I don't know where the hell they went. But anyway, we got to Hamamatsu, and this group commander of this other carrier was leading the flight. They had Corsairs, and he had 2 photoplanes with him. So, and he saw I had only had 4 birds left out of my flight, so he called me and he said, "You stay up here and escort my 2 photoplanes, and I'll take the rest of the birds down and we'll beat up the airfield." And I said, "Well, okay." That isn't really what I had in mind, but am I all right? And while I'm saying that, I'm looking down at the field, and I saw these 2 bombers take off. And I thought, oh man, I'd like to go down and get those. And when these other guys were already in their dive going down, I thought, oh, one of them bound to see those, and they'll get them. But I watched, and nobody else saw them, I guess. The 2 of them took off, one went out, and the other one behind it.
That shows how it was.
Okay.
Thanks, Des.
They got out about, I don't know, maybe 8 or 10 miles and turned, and were downwind, and the second one fell in formation on the first. And they came right down about maybe 5 miles away from the airport, a beam of it, and I couldn't stand it any longer, so I told my 2 second pair with me, I said, "You watch these 2 photoplanes and I'll be back in a few minutes." And I peeled off. We were at 18,000 feet, and these guys were pretty close in, so I came screaming down on them. I know I'm doing over 400 knots. I had a 90-degree shot at them, and they were in a formation like this, and this guy was the closest one to me. He was the wingman. Came down, pulled up and gave him a bunch of lead, and fired a burst, and he just disappeared. Big ball of fire, and a bunch of spare parts flying around in the air. I missed all of those and went on around and decided, well, the other one is there. I was going so fast that if I went out here and turned and come back to make a run on him, it was going to take me too long. So I decided it was about 2,500 feet. So I said, I'll just go up here and I'll do a loop, come on around, and do an overhead run on him, like this, and with my plan. I did that, came underneath him, passed just underneath him, and I could see him, he was burning by then, and I'm still going pretty fast, and I was throttled back to idle, and finally I slowed down enough that I rolled over and came back down by him and leveled out again, and I flying wing on him, and I wanted to see what was going on. Well, the cockpit had quite a bit of glass in it, plexiglass, whatever you want to call it. The cockpit was completely engulfed in flames. I couldn't believe it had so much fire, and so I'm watching there, and the emergency hatch came open on the right-hand side. And as I sat there, these 3 crewmen jumped out. They dove out of the emergency hatch. And they, 1, 2, 3. And
That was excellent, Diz. I think you did a great job using those.
The amazing part about it was that
I guess, to describe
none of them had a parachute.
what happened out there that day. Wow.
They just,
Incredible history.
they went up and I broke off and I watched them
But instead of that, let's
fall.
jump ahead to
And they
1947.
were at about 2,500
for the
feet.
purposes of today's
Didn't
interview.
take them long to hit the ground.
And again, thank you, Diz. That was
And
very
then the airplane flew off, maybe 2 or 3 miles and crashed. And while I was watching
Yes.
these guys fall, but that I was amazed that these guys would be taking off without a parachute, or that they would be.
Okay, tell us this story and we'll keep going with this. And you can just use that, our Tony for.
They wouldn't take the time to put one on. I'm sure they had them.
Go ahead, Diz, sure.
I can understand remembering what the fire was inside that cockpit, why they decided that they knew they were going to die any one way or the other, but they didn't want to be burnt to death. And I don't know how many people were in that airplane. I estimated the crew was probably 5 or 6 guys. The other 3 burned up in the airplane crash. I then just climbed back up and joined the rest of the group, and we went home.
And Diz, what kind of Japanese airplane was that again?
Oh, those were what we called a Sally, twin-engine bomber, pretty good sized bomber, and what the Japanese called it, I have no idea. But it was a pretty good sized bomber. I estimate the crew at 5 or 6. Including a navigator and a bombardier and 2 pilots, and must have been a gunner or 2 aboard, maybe a radio man.
And sure. And what Japanese planes did you fight against? So we've got the Tonys, the Tojos, the Sallys. What else did you see out there, Diz?
One that we called a Hamp. It was a Zeke, same as a Zeke.
Oh, tell us about. Was there a couple of hams? But tell us about the hams real quick, and then we'll maybe go on to the next story. But please tell us that incident, sir.
Well, there was just one Hamp.
Okay.
The original name that we gave it was a Hap, but General Hap Arnold objected to having it named after him, so they put an M in there and called it a Hamp. We were on a fighter sweep in South China Sea, and our destination was it's a big island out there in the middle of it, Chinese island. It starts with an H, Hainan Island. And so we were heading on in there, weather again.